efficient equipment and appliances.
Grenlec, serving the nation.
Green's Concept introduces the latest innovation in air conditioning technology in Grenada, providing the most energy efficient, environmentally friendly air conditioning units in Grenada using a natural refrigerant oil.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Police walking on eggshells for you. We never get it right. It's not just the criminal.
Treat yourself from head to toe with A1 hair, skin, and beauty products from Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply Store. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, close to the New Testament Church. Want to achieve that classy Instagram model look? Come visit us at Sarah's Beauty Salon. We offer expression, pre-stripped, and antibacterial braids, forelocks, cherry curl, deep wave, yaki weave. Knit front wigs are also available, both synthetic and human hair. Of course, we offer a collection of extensions, Brazilian 100% human hair and Peruvian 100% virgin remy. We provide our customers with the finest nail care products, eyelashes, do-rags, razors, shaving products, and weaving needles to keep you stylish and popping. Visit Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply Store today, and remember, we treat our customers with the lowest prices nationwide and raging discounts store-wide. Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply Store, where all your beauty wishes will most certainly be granted.
Spot On, a new program with new perspectives every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on the Realest of the Real, Real 91.9 and 91.5 FM. Real talk, real people, real issues in real time. With your host, Sheldon Scott.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Neil Streit, an international social skill consultant, and I'm here to let the public know that every child has a right to say no to sexual violence.
And me say no make them take advantage of you.
When you think of Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, what comes to mind? A reliable financial institution that has stood the test of time. Maybe you think about the convenience and quality financial service they provide. Do you think about their readiness to help you retire, achieve your academic goals, build your dream home, buy the piece of land, or the elegant car? Or maybe the convenience of their different locations, Jubilee Street in Grenville, or the new outlet on Lucas Street in St. George's in the Derek Sylvester building. Maybe you always consider how they're always a phone call away. 442-8602 or 438-4228. They're also online, www.grenvillecreditunion.com. No matter what comes to mind, remember, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union is the best place to save and to borrow, working with you to make your brighter tomorrow.
There comes a time in every household when a loved one passes on, and we all need the support and guidance of a trusted friend. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home has been your dedicated friend. And now, for your convenience and added financial ease, we introduce specially designed complete funeral packages from as low as $5,500. Same professional quality services, but now greater choices at the lowest possible prices. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Conditions apply. Serving you from locations in St. George's, Grenville, and Carriacou. Call us at 440-2302 any time of day. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Police walking on eggshells for you. We
morning to you again, and this is your humble servant, 85 Corporal Grant, attached to the Eastern Division, and it is yet another privilege to be back in studio, Real FM 91.9, 91.5, and may I take that opportunity to say thanks to the management and staff of Real FM for affording me from the East to be back here again this morning. But this morning will be a little different towards yesterday, and I have a guest with me in studio, and we will be giving you some pertinent information. Time and time again, you would hear me speaking passionately as it regards to domestic violence, sexual violence, child abuse, juvenile delinquencies, because these are some of the antisocial behaviors or the deviant behaviors that we are plagued with in our society. And it, on most occasions, starts or commences from the home. Now, realizing all of that, the RGPF also have departments, not just the community relation department, but there are other departments within the RGPF that is geared at working towards the eradication or how best we can curb such monsters within our society. And while all police officers have that same mandate to work against these antisocial ills within our society, there are certain departments that have a heavier hand or the mantle to work or to do these level of investigation and even to bring awareness. So with me in studio this morning is one of the staff attached to the SVU, Sexual Violence Unit of the RGPF. That office is, or department at the moment is only at St. George's, CID headquarters. But time and time again, we meet and interact or do discussion as to how best we are able to disseminate information and also to investigate matters and cases. So on that note, I will ask my guest to introduce herself, and I'll say good morning to you, ma'am, and how are you?
Good morning to you, Corporal Grant. I am fine, thank you, just a bit under the weather. And let me say good morning to the listening public of Real FM 91.9 and 91.5. I am Anika Charles, Detective Constable number 3, and I'm attached to the Special Victims Unit of the CID of the RGPF.
So, Ms. Charles, how long have you been enlisted within the RGPF?
I have given the Royal Grenada Police Force 5 years of my service thus far. Just 5 years. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot for you. But what is important is how much of that service you enjoy and how much of that service your customers get to interact. And what is important as a police, not just wearing the uniform or carrying the title, but being able to meet with individuals, communicating and guiding them to that path where they can make something better of their lives.
Certainly, certainly. And I must say, well, we know that's the way the RGPF is going now with community policing. That's where we interact with the public to build and foster a great relationship with them. So I must say kudos to the RGPF and especially the Community Relations Department for that great job they have been doing and continue to do.
Definitely. But you're presently at the SVU under CID. How long has it been attached to that department?
The unit was established in 2018, September 2018, and from since inception, I have been a member of the unit. So that's about almost 3 years now.
So tell me, how do you detox? Because I know from experience, having to deal with those matters, and while I say this with a pinch of salt, the RGPF do not really have that broad mechanism of causing officers to be debriefed when interfaced or dealing with those kind of sensitive reports. How do you, for that last 2 years plus up to 3, get the opportunity to debrief yourself when you deal with such matters that can be so ticklish, wonderful.
Well, I must say that with no regrets that I am a Christian.
Okay.
So, of course, my debriefing takes the format of prayers and so forth, because we cannot achieve anything without Christ in the midst. And I must say howdy to my staff members down at the Special Victims Unit, because every morning before we pursue our jobs for the day, we have a short prayer session.
Okay.
So we say prayers, we read a scripture, we discuss it and so forth. Then we go ahead with the day. So we have Christ at the beginning, the center, and at the end of it all. So this is basically how we debrief. One of the recommendations I would like to make is that maybe we could have, like, special times where we go out in some restaurants or hotels and just enjoy ourselves and have fun, because dealing with these particular offenses and so forth, it takes a lot.
Definitely.
From the individual to see those persons go through the trauma and all those stuff and things. So yeah, that's one of the things that we should be looking forward to go as a staff, to relax and enjoy ourselves.
Right. Well, maybe you may have to start that aspect of it by inviting your staff, because we've seen it with other entities, and it's not that the organization send them or pay for it. They just team up and approach some other institution and maybe get a package arrangement, understanding the purpose, because we have to co-work together. We are securing them, and while we do not want it for thanks, but maybe if we approach, then something can be arranged. But I'm grateful and happy to know that Christ is in the center, and that's one of the main mechanisms that is used for debriefing and being able to detox yourselves. Apart from the SVU, where have you spent that other 2 years or 2 years some?
Yes, so upon my initial assignment to the force, I was attached to the traffic department, where I spent approximately 4 months. From there, I went to the Special Services Unit, that's SSU, where I spent another 3 months. From there, I went to the Eastern Division, where I worked at Grenville Police Station for approximately 7 months. From Grenville, I came down to the West, worked at Guelph Police Station, Sutters, and Union, and after there, I went to the Central Police Station, where I spent about 6 months at the Petty Investigations Department. And from the Central Police Station, I went back to Guelph Police Station for 2 months, and from Guelph, I went to the Special Victims Unit.
All right. Well, according to local language, you had been shuffled around.
Yes.
But it helps in forming and shaping you, because
certainly.
you got the opportunity to learn different cultures, meet different faces, understand the dynamics, because every community, and I think, and I'm just going ahead of you to say that being transferred or rotated throughout the island within the organization, it helps you to be more rounded now to deal with the situation or cases that you are confronted with daily, because you would have learned new cultures, new MOs, new different perception based on community, and all of that would have helped to contribute to the job that you do now.
Certainly. And remember, as police officers, we have to learn to adapt to different cultures and so forth. And I take pride in saying that I believe that I would have adapted in every division and department that I've worked in, to learn the different cultures, because we have to know that everybody is not the same.
Definitely.
Yes, we are all human beings, but we are not the same. We are different built and so forth. So yes, I want to thank the RGPF for the opportunity and shuffling me, as you see, throughout the different divisions.
Okay. So now you're at studio this morning, and it's not a normal thing, but what caused you, what pushed you to be here with us within the West at Real FM?
So this morning, again, I want to say thank you to the management and staff of Real FM for having us here this morning. And one of the main reasons why I'm here this morning is to promote, again, one of the activities that the Special Victims Unit will be having next week, Tuesday. That is the National Colors Day. We would have had our first one in 2019, and let me again say thank you to the general public for the generous support which they have given to us for the past year that we had it in 2019. It was a tremendous success. And of course, that proceeds went into the aid of victims. And we had so many programs, so many victims that we assisted. Hence the reasons why we're doing it again. We were unable to do it last year due to the fact of the COVID-19 situation. So now we're here again admonishing the general public to participate, because this all goes in aid of supporting victims. So we want everyone to stand in solidarity as we support the victims of sexual violence, domestic violence, and child abuse.
Right. So tell us some more about July 6, 2021, or July 6th, which is now becoming annual. When you speak of National Colors Day, what exactly are you trying to highlight?
So National Colors Day is an initiative of the Special Victims Unit, where we're asking the general public, each and everyone, to adorn themselves into 3 colors. We have teal, a lightish blue, green, and that is the international color against sexual violence. We also have white, which is an international color again, which signifies peace. And we also have orange, which is a national color that children wear in observance of Child Month. So we want each and every individual in Grenada to adorn themselves in that color. You can wear the 3 colors if you so like colors, or you can wear a white, orange, or teal, but wear those colors to show the victims that they are not alone, that they have persons so they can turn to and listen to, and persons who are here to support them. We also requesting that persons donate at least $1 to go towards supporting those victims again. There will be various boxes placed into stations, police stations, that is, and departments, where you can go in and just say to a police officer, kindly, I am here to show my support, so I'm here to donate at least $1. If you feel like, $1 is a little bit too much, little too less, and you want to give a $5, a $10, a $50, a $100, it is so welcome, and we will appreciate it, because it goes in aid of the victims. The program that we had in 2019, we would have, the same Colors Day, we would have generated some funds, and we had 3 programs that went towards victims of sexual violence, and we have seen the work, because when they came in, both male and female, they came in, and after that program, they came back to us and it was like, what, officer, I'm very pleased with what happened, I'm feeling better about myself, and so forth. We also assist victims in many other ways that I cannot disclose on the air. So on behalf of the victims, I want to say thank you to the general public for your support back then, and to encourage you to support us again next week, Tuesday.
Right. So in light of National Colors Day, SVU is having their own chapter of it, whereby they raise awareness and publish such. While it is in gear of victims of sexual violence, who exactly are our victims?
Our victims are persons who would have been affected by sexual abuse, domestic abuse, child abuse. These are the persons that the Special Victims Unit are dealing with at the moment. We don't know, later on we may have to deal with other persons in different communities. But at the moment we're dealing with these persons who would have been affected. Also, we some of the programs that we have in the pipeline are to deal with perpetrators, young perpetrators of sexual violence. We have a program in the pipeline where we are going to deal with them, because after we deal with those persons, we arrest them or we do diversion with them. That is where we do a little case conference. They go back into the community sometimes, and we don't feel that they have that, they get that change, that impact. So that is why we have in this program for them to see if we can really bring out that positive change in the mindset of these young men. So here we are again. I'm saying the victims are those persons who would have been affected. When I say affected, I mean like someone, let's say a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, an 80-year-old who was at home and they walk in the streets or something, and somebody of the opposite sex or the same sex would have gone to them, raped them, sexually assault them. Or you're in a relationship, husband and wife, the wife may have caused harm to the husband would have wounded the wife. They are the victims, and they are the persons that we are advocating for so that the general public can support them, help us to support them.
Okay. Time and time again, persons hear of sexual abuse and also domestic violence. And the cliche, the myth, the trend of thought is that women and girls again. I'm not going to invest my time into that. From your daily work, is that trend of thought still a reality, that the only victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse is women and girls only?
I must say for that, 5 years in general that I've spent in the RGPF, I've heard about the saying that you just spoke about, and I have not witnessed it for my tenure in the RGPF. What I must say too, at the inception of the Special Victims Unit, we would have received an increase in persons coming forward to make reports, and those reports would have been incidents that would have occurred way back when. And of course, there are no statute on some of the various sexual offenses, so persons would have been coming on. So what we believe would have happened is that the SVU and the RGPF would have increased persons the confidence. We build back that confidence in them, so they're coming forward to make the reports, because at present now, most of the reports that we have been receiving are current reports. So an incident would have happened in May, and the reports would have been made in May.
Right.
But back then, no, persons would have been scared to come to the police and make reports. And when I say persons, speaking of females and male, of course, more males, because male have the tendency to say, well, if I go to the station and I say, well, my girlfriend beat me up or my wife beat me up, police officers may laugh at them. And this is a no-no, and we would have had male victims coming into the Special Victims Unit, and when they see the treatment that they received, they was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that treatment. I would have thought you all would have ridiculed me or laughed at me and so forth. And they was like, keep up the good works, and they're going to go out there and spread the message that there is no discrimination in the RGPF against male. You come, you'll be treated as a victim. So a victim is not a female. A victim is not a male. A victim is anyone who is affected by sexual violence, domestic violence, or child abuse. So I want to urge the male out there, if you're in a relationship or you're being abused, or maybe back then you would have been sexually abused by someone, you can come forward to any police stations or department and give the report. I can assure you that your report will be dealt with in a professional manner, and confidentiality will be at its highest. And of course, there will be a no judgmental zone. So you will expect to not be judged by the police officers. So come on in, because we are here to support you. We are here to help you. We are your rock.
So I noticed that your flyer has this phrase, 1 minute of silence, $1 donation. So you would have spoke of the $1 donation. That minute of silence, how would that be done? And how would persons know when to acknowledge or recognize that? So on that day, that's next week, Tuesday, we're asking for the entire nation, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique, at the strike of 12 noon. 12 noon to observe that 1 minute of silence. So the entire nation should be on pause, because that now is to show our support and stand in solidarity with those persons who would have lost their lives as a result of sexual violence, domestic violence, child abuse, or those persons who are still alive but they are traumatized by that experience. So we want you to, at the strike of 12 noon, to be on pause and observe that. I think they deserve that respect. I mean, it is not much, but it's going to go a long way. Okay. So what would that day be like? Because the fact that it's National Colors Day, apart from the SVU, Special Victim Unit of the RGPF, raising that level of awareness and solidarity for our victims / survivors of domestic violence, sexual abuse, and also child abuse, how would that day roll out? Okay, so what we are expecting to happen is that everyone will adorn themselves in those colors, and when you're asked by someone, why are you wearing that color today? Why you're in orange?
Why are you in teal? Why are you in white? You boldly stand up and say, I am supporting the victims of sexual violence, domestic violence, child abuse. These offenses has been happening a lot, and it has been causing havoc on many persons, especially young females in Grenada today. So I am standing in support to show them that we are here for them. It's okay to tell, it's okay to talk, and also to send a message to the perpetrators or the would-be perpetrators to know that the force and the general public is not pleased and is not happy by your behavior, so you all need to stop. So on that day, you're dressed in those colors boldly with pride, and this is what you go out to do. We also anticipating that you go into the various stations and departments and give your support. You go to the stations, you say, well, I'm here to make my donation. Where is the box? Because there will be boxes and tins in the various stations where you can show your support to the victims of domestic violence. So at 12 noon, we have the 1 minute of silence. After that 1 minute of silence, the Honorable Delma Thomas will be delivering a speech to commemorate that activity, of course. And at the end of her speech, we're asking everyone, again, even the media outlets, the radio stations, news stations, to play our theme song, which is Vice Versa Love by Barrington Levy, because many persons are under the perception that money makes the world go wrong. But I am here to bust your bubble. No, money don't make the world go wrong. Neither women, neither men. It's love that makes the world go wrong. And it's not just love, but vice versa love. Love that I can give you love and you give back love to me. So love is what makes the world go wrong. And we believe that if there is love in the world, we get rid of the hate. Many of these offenses that has been occurring will cease. So this is why we chose that song, Vice Versa Love. We need to show love to persons, because I believe that if you have love in your heart, you will not be under the impression to go out and sexually assault someone. So we need to preach love, love, love.
Okay. Apart from the Minister of responsible for social services at the Ministry of Social Development, and that speech that would be delivered, would there be any other thing that you are aware of, whether other departments or other stakeholders will be doing in celebration of that day?
Well, at the moment now, what we know that various schools and departments, the Ministry of Social Development, what they will do is to speak about it. So they will ask like the principals and the teachers to have that time in the class with the students. And I know this is something, well, I want to commend the teachers and principal, of course. This is something I know that they have been preaching to their students, and they have been advocating for police officers to come in to speak to them. But on that day, we're asking that the teachers, principals, to have a chat again with your students, because remember, that is the last week in school. They'll be going home on carnival vacation, well, the August holidays, and most of them will be home alone. So we want you to have that chat with your students, with your pupils, to let them know the good touches, the bad touches. They should not walk in dark places by their own. They should know what they're posting on social media, because many of the students have cell phones nowadays, and what some of them do, they post up the location, and this is very dangerous to their safety. So we're asking that the teachers, principals, to speak to them, let them know it's okay to talk. The police stations are there, they're on vacation. They should at least let them know where exactly the police stations are. So that's something that we're asking the teachers and the principals to do. Let the students know that if ever they are in trouble, they can always dial 911, give their information, and the police officer will be there to assist them. So this is another side to the National Colors Day that will be operating the teachers, principals, and even parents. So because most of the students will be home as well. Some of them are home from last week or this week, sorry. So the parents, we are admonishing you to speak to your children. Speak to them, speak to them. Education is the number one priority to get rid of any scourge of sexual violence, domestic violence, and child abuse. So educate your children, because if you don't educate them, the perpetrators may tend to educate them for you, and they may give them the wrong set of information. So you know what is right, so tell them what is right. Because remember, children learn what they leave. So you tell them, you should not do this, you should not do that, and I'm sure that they will listen to you. So this is our admonishment to the parents, teachers, principal of the nation, from the SU, from the CID, from the Royal Grenada Police Force.
But you're right, even if you have expounded so well on that initiative, which we all are in solidarity of by our day-to-day jobs or activity, but the fact that we will be adorned, dressed, decorated as if it is the 7th of February in our national colors. We will be back in national colors in that of saying no loudly, proudly, and boldly against all forms of abuse and violence to each other. But you can't come to Real FM and don't give us some synopsis as to the day-to-day functioning of the SVU within the RGPF.
Well, certainly. And permit me, before I even go on to our day-to-day operations at the Special Victims Unit, to just enlighten the public on our recent statistics. And the statistics that I'm going to give is for the victims of sexual violence. The victims there, in comparison, 2020 and 21. So for the period of January to May 2020, 48 persons would have been affected by sexual violence.
And that's was what was reported?
Yes, reported to the police. 48 persons would have been affected. That's last year, January to May. This year, for the same period, January to May, that's 2021, we would have received 90 victims of sexual violence reported. So 90 persons came into the station and reported sexual violence.
Question. Is that for your department or as per RGPF?
That's as per RGPF, the entire Royal Grenada Police Force. So by that statistics, we have seen an increase by 42. There was an increase, almost doubled. And this is something that we no longer have to tolerate in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and to the Caribbean to a larger extent. So this is why we're having such initiatives to go out there, spread the message, and let the perpetrators know that the RGPF, the public, is fed up with those abuses that you're partaking in, and it needs to stop. So at the unit, well, remember I stated earlier on that we have our debriefing in the morning, which takes the formats of prayer, praises, we discuss, and then after we go on to the day-to-day matters. We have walk-in clients, and we also have clients who would call to give to make appointments. So as we know, sexual violence is any sexual conduct that harms, degrades, humiliates the sexual integrity of a person. Domestic violence is any controlling or abusive behavior. We know on and on. We know they must be related by blood, sex, marriage, or adoption. So persons come in, and for the sexual violence, domestic violence that occurs with children, we work hand in hand with the Child Protection Authority. And I must say good morning and kudos to the officers attached to the Child Protection Authority. You all have been doing a tremendous job. So keep up the good work. So we work in tandem with the Child Protection Authority, because these are the ones, if a report was made by a child and the alleged perpetrator would have been a parent or someone in the home when that child is living, the Child Protection Authority responsibility is to remove the child from that home and bring them into a home where not only they are comfortable, but into a home where they are safe. Right? Because from often time to time, they will tend to... All right, so, yes. So, and then domestic violence, now we have those persons would have come in, and what we do with domestic violence, if the person comes in and they're making claims that their significant other who they reside with is domestically abusing them, we should give them the options of obtaining for a protection order. And the protection order is granted swiftly as possible by the magistrates in the different divisions. So you come in, You make that claim, we take your statements. If there is need for you to get medical attention, we assist you in doing so, and then we assist persons in preparing the form for the protection order. We even assist them to go to the magistrate court, and then once the order is served, we ourselves take the opportunity to serve the respondents. Once the order is granted, we serve the respondents as soon as possible together, because we take pride in our job and we leave no stone unturned. Whether it's male, female, because for the year thus far, we would have had about 2 males, coming in and giving reports of domestic violence, and we treated them just as how we would have treated a female if she would have come in. So as I stated earlier on, victims... Did they
apply for protection order?
Yes.
Was it granted?
A protection order was applied for. It was granted. It was solved. Same conditions as a female, yes. The person... Well, we know the condition orders be in the protection order. So these same conditions were applied for. It was granted by the magistrate in the Southern District. And it was solved on the female perpetrator. And yeah, that's it. So we have been working. So this is, I'm saying to the general public, a victim is not a female, as most persons are under the perception. A victim is anybody who is affected by domestic, sexual, or child abuse. Right. So we take pride in ourselves to do that, and we act swiftly, of course, to pursue charges. So once we obtain statements from individuals, once there are any offenses disclosed, we act swiftly to bring the perpetrators to justice. Of course, the police, there must be strives on evidence, cases strives on evidence. So if there is insufficient evidence to pursue with charges, what we normally do is send those files to the DPP, and he will give us recommendations, of course. So we must have sufficient evidence to pursue with charges. Of course, if somebody, because there are instances where persons came in and they make reports, but it did not amount to offenses. But what we do still at the unit, we bring in those persons and we speak to them still. Because there was this one time someone came in and spoke about this guy always waving for them and they're uncomfortable, and if I ain't kiss for them and so forth. We bring in that gentleman, he admitted to it, and we asked him to refrain from doing so. So he did refrain, because we do follow-ups as well at this, well, RGPF in general, we do follow-ups, and we follow up with our victims, and we would have followed up with that particular person who came in and gave that report. And she said, since the police brought in that gentleman and spoken to him, the activities cease. All right, so these are some of the things that we take pride in doing, and court is not the end of matters when it comes to the RGPF. So yes, they come to court and so forth, but we still, from time to time, check in on the victims. We have a system in the unit where students who we deal with from time to time, once they go to school in the surrounding areas, they always come in and pass by and check in with the officers who would have dealt with them and so forth. I must say also that we work in collaboration with the Ministry of Social Development, the Gender-Based Violence Unit, and these are the persons that are responsible for the advocacy for the victims who are 18 years and older, so adult victims. So once we get information of abuse and so forth of a victim who is an adult, we refer them to the Gender-Based Violence Unit, and they will be the ones responsible to do counseling or whatever assistance the victims may so require. The Ministry of Social Development, that's where they come in.
Yes, Michelle. So now you start getting comfortable and you start to unfold by just telling us of your day-to-day function at the unit, and that's only when we work with pride and joy we can articulate so well on it, even if it was an impromptu question. But our hour has swiftly, as per usual, ran out on us. But with all of what you would have said as to how the department function day to day, and expounding on who are our victims and who the department serve, I suspect someone did not hear or forget July 6th and what's the function and the purpose of July 6th. So just take the next few minutes as your summation to reiterate the function and purpose of July 6th and what is the require or what we are admonishing persons within the trial and state to do on that day.
Right. So in closing, remember July 6th, 2021, that's next week, Tuesday, we're asking the entire nation to dress up in 3 colors: teal, which is the international color against sexual violence; white, the international color for peace; and orange, which is the national color against child abuse. This is the color that children wear when it comes to Child Month. So you adorn yourselves in these colors and to stand in solidarity and show your support to victims of sexual violence, domestic violence, child abuse. One report is one too many.
Definitely.
And we need your support. The police alone cannot work to eradicate crime and violence in Grenada. We need the support and strength of the community. So on that day, you wear your colors, you observe a 1 minute of silence at 12 noon. Honorable Delma Thomas, the Minister of Social Development, will give a speech on that occasion as well. And we're also asking you to donate kindly to each and every departments and stations of the Royal Grenada Police Force to show your support to the victims. I mean, money is not all, we know, but the generous support that you contribute goes a long way. We've had many programs in the past that would have assisted victims. We also have the finances that support victims on a day-to-day basis. When they come into the department, we assist them financially once we can afford. So those proceeds will go a long way in assisting the victims. So I want to say out there, to if you are a victim, if you are a victim of sexual violence, domestic violence, it's okay to talk, it's okay to tell. Come into any police station, department, ask to speak to, if you're a female and you're you're comfortable speaking to a female, you ask to speak to a female. If you're a male and you're comfortable speaking to a male, that will be arranged. That could be arranged for you, because once you're comfortable, that is when you're going to be able to speak. So you go there and it's okay to tell. The RGPF is here. The laws are in place, what we should do, what we should not do. So we're here to assist you in our fight to end, if not eradicate, or put a stop to sexual and domestic violence in Grenada, Carriacou, and Pittimatnik, and to the world, Caribbean, to a greater extent.
Thank you so much, Ms. Charles, WDC3 Charles, attached to SVU Sexual Violence Unit, CID RGPF. It was a pleasure having you in studio this morning to raise awareness as to National Colors Day, July 6, 2021. July 6, 2020, COVID would have dominated.
Yes, yes.
2019, there was various initiatives that took place throughout the island. Even Carriacou, our sister island, benefited. And this year is no exception. We're asking of persons to ever be conscious of these monsters within our society: domestic violence, sexual abuse, child abuse. We asking all and sundry, regardless of your sex or gender. You see something, say something. You hear something, say something. And I also say, even if you perceive it, say something, because that might just be the final piece of the puzzle to help us solve that puzzle and to change someone's life. I always say to persons, it makes no sense saying, well, when I go to the police for him or her, how would they think? Because when you fail to make a report, that perpetrator, that abuser thinks it's okay because nobody is doing anything to me, nobody is saying anything. The victim is already in a compromised position where they themselves is just waiting for that help. So members of our community, persons within the various offices, if you are the one committing those offenses or those delinquent behavior, I ask of you to stop. And if you have a problem and you can't stop, seek help.
Yes.
There are various institutions and avenues that you can go in to seek help. And to you, the victims, it's okay to tell. It's okay to say something. Come forward and we would gladly help you. You have the Ministry of Social Development, you have Child Protection Authority, you have Legal Aid, who always stands. And I want to say kudos to the staff of the Legal Aid organization department for the unwavering service throughout the island, and even that of the RGPF and also that of the Ministry of Social Development. They are always there. And these are some key stakeholders as RGPF that we work with. And as we celebrate July 6th in raising awareness through national colors, to show solidarity and support for our victims of domestic violence, sexual violence, and child abuse, we just want to ask you, our general public, please come on out, give that support. $1 is not enough, but it would be sufficient for us. So as the members of the SVU take on that role and mandate to give support. You know, from my own personal experience, when someone walk in and you look at them when they are victims or survivors of those situations, and you can offer a cup of tea, or that mother or that father break down before you and you say, I don't even know what I'm giving them to eat this morning. I gave them the last some sugar in hot water or bush water this morning. Sometimes you dip into your bag, you dip into your purse, and you know what? Many a times as officers, we don't have it ourselves. We have to go knocking on some other door, some supermarket, some store, some person within our society and ask, can you make a contribution? But if you, our community members, instead of buying a beer on that day, the same money that you will contribute to a beer or a few drinks or maybe the cigarette, and you say, you know what, I'm going to give that contribution today towards a victim of domestic violence, sexual violence, and domestic child abuse, certainly it would reach a far way and it would contribute. So thank you so much, Ms. Charles, and to your department, Inspector Stanislas. Our arms are open. We continue working together for cause like this to make use of those mediums so that we can reach a wider public. To the management and staff of Real FM, we want to say thanks much for affording us yet another moment. But we were concentrating on our own affairs, and I want to take this opportunity to publicly, on behalf of the Commissioner and other ranks and file of the RGPF, to send out our condolences, our sympathy towards the family of PC Anthony Julian, who would have passed. He has been a member of the organization for a good years. And I just pray and trust that God will continue to give his family that strength and support as they go through that period of mourning, as they grieve on his passing. I just pray that God would grant you strength and you do have support from the RGPF. God bless us all. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. Remember, COVID is out there. We need to protect ourselves. One love. See you again next week, Wednesday, with the conversation with the RGPF.
One way our efforts have been recognized. To learn more, visit grenlec.com.
Hello and welcome back locally. The Grenada Tourism Authority is pleased to announce the appointments of Chrissy David Hamid, Marketing and Sales Manager, and Emil Edwards, Sales Manager for the UK market. The GTA is elated to announce the commencement of GTA's mentorship program, which will be led by the newly appointed CEO Petra Roach. Edwards is the first inductee of this recently established mentorship program. In the region, President-elect is waiting for the Jamaica Teachers Association. Lasonja Harrison has declared that she will be partnering with the private and public sector in an effort to